Hello and welcome to the Math by Matthew virtual homework help this Wednesday, September 9th at 4 p.m. We are coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona, and this class is all about you, the student. We will be answering as many of your questions as possible. To get your questions answered, Paul will be communicating with you directly through the Zoom chat. He will get some preliminary information from you and then get you queued up to get your question answered directly by me, Matthew. Let's start by taking a look at the question of the day. This question offers daily practice and is a tune-up for college entrance exams like the SAT and ACT. This question and full solution can be found at mathbymatthew.com. A new question is posted there every day. Let's start by taking a look at today's question. Today's question says, the following function is given such that c of x equals x cubed plus k times x plus L. If c of 1 equals -7 and c of 8 equals 490, what is the value of L? So we start by looking at the question there, what is the value of L? And we realize that we're going to have to use this given information, c of 1 equals -7 and c of 8 equals 490, to somehow figure out this value. So let's start by substituting 1 in for x and -7 in for c of x. I'm going to rewrite the equation. And I'm going to replace c of x with -7 equals 1 cubed plus k times 1 plus L. Simplify. And we're going to solve for k or L, but we're not sure yet. And we also realize at this step that there's two variables, so we need to do more to be able to solve this problem. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides and get -8 equals k plus L. I'm going to come off to the side here, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second set of given information. C of 8 equals 490. I'm going to rewrite the original equation. C of x equals x cubed plus k times x plus L, and 490 is replacing c of x, and this time 8 is what's being cubed. All right. 8 cubed is a value that we recommend as the kind of information you want to know going into a college entrance exam really quickly. We want you to know as quickly as you can multiply two numbers. It's not good enough to know that 8 squared is 64. You have to also know that 8 cubed is 512. Now, I'm not sure you need to know what 8 to the power of 4 is, because you can continue multiplying by 8, but the speed is the thing that we're emphasizing here, the fact that you know this right away, and you won't have a calculator, so you have to be able to do this quickly. 512 plus 8k plus L. I'm going to subtract 512 from both sides. We have -22 equals 8k plus L. So from here, there's a decision to be made. We've got a system of equations here. We could, for example, just line them up and then solve them using an elimination approach. We do know that we're trying to find L. So since we're trying to find L, whatever we do should have L remaining in it, okay? We could, for example, solve both of these for k and set them equal to each other. That could introduce some fractions. There's a lot of possibilities here. To keep it simple, I'm probably just going to utilize the systems approach. So I'm going to put -22 underneath of this equation, 8k plus L, and I'm just going to subtract. So when I subtract these two equations, we're going to subtract these here. It's -8 minus a -22. That gives us +14. K minus 8k gives us -7k. L minus L is 0. And you can see here that we've got something that we can finally solve here. I'm going to insert a little bit of space so that we can keep working through this problem. All right, so if we divide both sides by -7, k ends up being -2, but k is not what we're trying to find. We're trying to find L, which means we have to back substitute into one equation or the other. It doesn't really matter which one we choose. I'm going to go back to the -8 equals k plus L. -8 equals minus 2 plus L. If you add 2 to both sides, L equals minus 6. And if you scroll up, you can see that the correct answer is C. Just as a reminder, to find the question of the day, you can visit our website, mathbymatthew.com. And from there, you can click on the Question of the Day tab. There you will see the daily question, and you can view this and print it out. And it's great for preparation for college entrance exams. You can see this is today's question that we just worked through together. A new question is posted there every day, and it's a great opportunity to challenge yourself and test your skill. Let's get back to solving some problems. Again, as a reminder, if you're a student looking to get help, we offer this virtual homework help a couple of days a week, and it's all about you, the student. Paul will be interacting with you directly to collect your questions. He's going to communicate with you through the Zoom chat, and he's going to communicate with you and ask you some information such as which class you're taking, what kind of question you want to work on before we work on it live together. We do have a question that looks like it's come from email. We encourage people to connect with us that way as well. It's related to the previous problem we did because we're solving a system of equations. This one just says to solve. That means we're trying to find the ordered pair. We're trying to figure out x and y that satisfy both equations. As a reminder, when a system of equations has a solution, it means that they intersect at one place on the graph. We don't know where that is. We're going to figure that out here. When you're looking at a system of equations, there's a lot of possible ways to solve it. There's, as I mentioned earlier, there's elimination, which is what we used to solve the question of the day. There's also substitution. My rule of thumb here is that you use substitution when it's easy, and I don't really like that word, but we're going to just use it for this context. It's easy to solve for x or y in one equation. And what I mean by easy is you don't have to do anything other than move something around. So for example, equation 1 is pretty easy to solve for y because you just have to move the 5x to the other side of the equation. So if you add 5x to both sides here, you get y equals -3 plus 5x. And that's what I mean by easy. It's a simple, it's one step, it's done, and you're ready to go. So we're looking at 3x minus 8y equals 24. We're going to use substitution this time. We're going to take all of this and we're going to replace y with that. Whenever I replace a variable with something, I like to do it with parentheses. That way it's very clear where it's going and what it is replacing. Key here is to distribute -8 to both terms inside parentheses. This subtraction goes with the 8. It's a common thing to only distribute it to one or not distribute it to one term or not just distribute at all. You're really distributing -8 to both. So it's 3x plus 24 minus 40x equals 24. Next thing is we can combine like terms, this 3x and this minus 40x. So this is minus 37x, 24 minus 37x equals 24. If you subtract 24 from both sides, you get minus 37x equals 0. This does not mean that there's not a solution because you can divide both sides by minus 37, divide both sides by minus 37, you find that x is 0. I want to remind everyone listening that 0 over a number other than 0 is 0. Division is a sharing problem. You have 0 things to share with some number of friends down here as an example. And if you only have 0 things to share, nobody gets anything. This is not the same as something divided by 0. This is undefined. It's very important to remember these two cases. Since we found that x is 0, we can substitute 0 back into the equation that we solved for y. We know that y is -3 plus 5x. If we substitute in 0 for x, we see that y is -3. We can verify that this is correct by substituting it into both equations and making sure that it is true. And that is definitely the case here. I want to take a moment here and just pause with you guys and remind you that we do offer a variety of services besides this virtual homework help. You can go to our website, mathbymatthew.com. From the home page, we encourage everyone who wants to improve their understanding to meet with Matthew. You can do this through the virtual homework help that you are attending today, but we also offer private tutoring, and it's a great option for students that want one-on-one personalized help. We're currently offering two types of personalized tutoring: the traditional one-on-one lesson, where you provide the content that you want to work on, or we create a lesson based on what you're looking to achieve through something in the classroom. We can match that up perfectly. We've also got an on-demand tutoring, which is just if you need a quick thing answered right away, I'm available or Paul is available to help you out there. So we definitely look forward to helping you one-on-one. Let's see if we've got any other questions to answer from our audience. I'm going to get back to our workspace. Looks like we do have at least one more question that we can answer today for you guys. Let me just clean up our workspace here and give us a little bit more room to work in. All right, so it looks like this question came from email as well, learning@mathbymatthew.com. Feel free to send those questions in and we can answer them as part of your learning experience here. So this question today asks us to write the equation of a quadratic that has a vertex 5, 3 and y-intercept 0, 8. There are several different forms of a quadratic. Vertex form is probably preferred here. Vertex form is y equals a x minus h squared plus k. You'll notice there are three variables here, a, h, and k. It is known in vertex form that h comma k is the vertex. So this 5 is h and k is 3. We can immediately substitute those into this equation here, x minus 5 squared plus 3. Students often try to do something with this here. They try to expand this. This is not needed. It's not needed at present because it's just asking for the equation. You'll notice though that there are still some unknowns here. A is unknown. To find a, if we had an x and a y, we could find a because we know two of the three unknowns. Well, it just so happens that there is an x and a y here. We're going to substitute those back into the equation here and hopefully find the value of a. Y is 8, so we're substitute 8 in. 8 equals a. X is 0. 0 minus 5 squared plus 3. So notice we're down to one variable. 8 equals a minus 5 squared plus 3. 8 equals, and then minus 5 squared is 25. That negative is squared, so it becomes positive 25a plus 3. We'll subtract 3 from both sides. 5 equals 25a. Divide both sides by 25, so a equals 5 over 25, which reduces to 1/5. It's important to remember you're going to take this number and put it back into this equation here. So I'm just giving it a little more room here. Y equals 1/5 x minus 5 squared plus 3. All right. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out today and join us for the virtual homework help. We want to remind you that the next virtual homework help is available this upcoming Monday. To connect with us there, go to our website, click on Meet with Matthew, select the virtual homework help, and sign up for our next available lesson. And just a reminder, make sure you specify the time zone that you're in. If you're in another time zone, we can still help you, but we are coming to you from Arizona, and that is this Monday at 7 p.m. and then again next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Thanks so much, everyone, and we will see you next time.